I'm having the opportunity being presented to me that I can go and get my PhD, and there are no strings attached as far as finances are concerned. I was like, okay, so I think this is meant to be. I think I'm supposed to go home. And so I packed up my things. I went to Bali for a week, and I came back and I hopped on another flight back to the United States of America and into the arms of the people that love me most. And I hid. I got back early July, and for a month I hid. And it wasn't that I was hiding from people, but I needed some space to digest everything that I had just experienced. And because I needed to take the GRE, I needed to take the GRE. I needed to get ready for this new transition in life. And I've always planned to go to get my PhD. I thought maybe I'd do it at the age of 35 or 32 or 30. But from the way it presented itself, it felt as if the time was now. And so I was like, okay, well, I believe that this is the next step because, one, I'm being provided for in this space. God has removed all obstacles that would stop me from saying yes to the situation. The only thing that I have to do is have the courage to walk in it and say yes. And, something I thought, was that, just because all the obstacles have been removed and I have said yes, that I would be ultimately I'm prepared for it, but that I would have everything, that I would be working from a place of all strengths and no weaknesses. And that's never the case in any dream or any opportunity that you have. It can be a dream, but it's always going to take work. It's always going to have conflict. It's always going to have weaknesses, and it's always going to have strengths. And you are going to be weak and you're going to be strong in some areas, and it's going to force you to grow. And that is what the experience in China was for me. It was an experience for me to learn that there are ebbings and flowings of everything that we choose in life, and that no dream is uncomplicated or without conflict. But if you want it and you want to keep it, you have to maintain your composure in completing it. And so as I was moving into this PhD process, it was like all hands on deck. I got back early July and I had to study for my GRE, and I was really worried because math has never been like my strong area of content. And so, just working on that constantly and trying to get better at it. And God was good and faithful, and I studied and showed myself approved, and I passed my GRE. And by August, first week of August, I received my acceptance letter to Baylor. And I was like, wow, this is really happening. I had a couple weeks between getting my acceptance letter and school starting to kind of get my affairs in order. So, and then going through the semester, and then now it's December and I'm on a break. And so this year just seems so disjointed, and seems as though that, I've lived two different lifetimes in one, and it's a beautiful thing. And I'm so grateful to God that I, was able to be brave enough to accept this opportunity and this experience, and to live in it and to love in the moment. But there's been some challenges. I have been working 2 jobs and getting my PhD, which the PhD program is a full-time job within itself. So I'm studying for my classes, and then 2, I'm a graduate assistant. So I work for some advisors, working for them. And then I also am now working at a museum in Waco as well. And, dealing with different conflicts, like, my sister's daughter coming to stay with us, and, caring for her and feeling as though and accepting my role as godmother, because that's my sister's children. And if they're in need, it's my pleasure to help them. And so dealing with that, dealing with just being back in the family atmosphere when you've been solo for a while, like, you have creative control of your entire life, your entire schedule, how you live and how you operate. But then when you come back and you move back into the family home, all those experiences are shared again. And so kind of learning to love in community again has been a place of struggle for me as well. And then just dealing with, different populations of people that I've not dealt with before or haven't dealt with in such close proximity, and learning to love people despite their inability to love me has been something I've learned since being in this program. And I think it's going to be a part of a greater lesson that I'm not sure what that is yet. But I finished the semester of my PhD, and now we're moving into January 2020, and I'm moving into a second semester. And I pray that it's well, and I know that it will be well no matter what. That has been my 2019 in review. Here are some lessons that I have walked away with. I have always been a hopeless romantic, looking for love, wanting to be loved and to give love. And what I have become more fluid at is giving love in the midst of not receiving it. And also taking my love away when it's not received. But I've learned that for a long time, I've been searching for what I already have. I've been searching for a love that makes me feel joyful, that makes my skin glow, that encourages me and supports me and inspires me. And I've been searching for someone to give that to me. And I already have it. I've been giving it away to other people, and I've been giving it away to myself as well. And I realized that I already have these things. I can give them to myself. And that is not a selfish thing to give love to yourself, because I've given away more than I could sometimes spare. I've been too generous in some cases. And what I'm learning is that I have it. It's all inside of me. And if I continue to love from that place inside of me that loves from a place of wholeness and fulfilled grace for myself, then I have love to give away, even if it's not received or reciprocated. That giving that love away is not damaging, and it's not losing. I'm not losing anything, but instead, the more love that I put out there that comes from the center of myself, it backflows to me. It comes back. And the more I put out, the more it comes back. So the energy that you put out, y'all, karma is real. And I know y'all know me. Y'all know that my nickname has been Karma, and it has evolved from many different, things and ideas and spaces that I was in my life. But it's real. And the more that we give ourselves to the place of love inside of ourselves, the more that love will give unto us. And the more that we'll be stressed less, or the less stress that we will be about giving love, because we will have realized that we are love and we're made to love. And when we give love, love comes back to us 10, 20, 30, 100 times fold. So as we move into this new year, I'm looking into myself. I'm looking into the purpose that God has planted in this season. We will spend our whole lives. This podcast is called Single with a Purpose, and we will spend our whole lives trying to become singly aligned with God's purpose with our lives. It is not something that happens overnight. It's not something that will happen, that will begin and end before you as a being begins and ends. But it is a journey that starts from the beginning of our life and that ends at the end of our life. And even that purpose can continue to give even after we're gone. But we only have the time period of life to find and discover and to live in the fullness thereof of that purpose. And 2020 is the year where we're giving up bad habits. We're not going to allow things to hold us back or hold us down. Those things that are causing our energy to drop and for us to have low vibrations. And we are not meant to be low vibrational beings. That's when we're sick, lethargic, and we're unable to complete the task, and we're feeling unhappy and depressed. And that's because we are not seeking the purpose of the season that we are in, and whatever purpose that may be, because 2020 may have a clearer vision, but that may require some things to dissipate out of our vision for us to 2020 focus on something, to stop living in the peripherals of life, but live in the directness of what's in front of us, keeping in mind where we have come from, the people who have loved us and who have fed into us, and continuing to pay that forward by feeding and giving unto ourselves into the world through our passions, through our arts. We are meant to live life as a vocation that is dedicated to serving each other and one another, serving God, and giving all of our service unto one another. And so I pray for all of you, and I thank you so much for continuing to listen to this podcast. I apologize for just kind of dropping off and not, informing you all and letting you know. But at the same time, I feel that this is my space and my artwork, and I will come and go as I please. But I hope to be more faithful, and I pray that you will pray that I will be more faithful. And I pray that 2020 will be a year of abundance and love and grace and self-exploration and finding yourself, being comfortable in yourself, and not accepting less than what you deserve. But giving out of grace and giving out of joy and giving out of mercy. So 2019, thank you for all that you have taught me and all that you have yielded unto my life. And I honor all the lessons, and I receive them, and I pray if I have yet to receive them, that I will receive them before this year ends, that I may go into 2020 and be more responsible, that I will be more enlightened in love and unburdened. And I pray the same for all of you. So keep on the lookout for some more podcasts. They are coming. On the next coming episode, I will be talking to one of my good friends, Jonathan Sturgeon. Some of you may know him as Jay Wisco. And we're going to be talking about the life of a creative and how creativity stimulates that life force in us that is going to carry us through our purpose in 2020. So I thank you. I love you. I will see you all later. Swap.